Good morning, Pisces. I recently saw a reading about capacity, and I was looking into our father wounds, right? Because our father wounds are huge in how we heal. Our parental wounds are huge in our healing process, right? And right now, as we're, some of you may have some of these wounds coming up, and there's layers to it. There's layers to the father wound. There's layers to the mother wound. So I think dive dive deep. Yeah, there's layers. There are many layers to this wound that we have because it's there. How can you see me? Okay, that's better. That's better. There are many layers to these wounds that we have, and so we can't hide from it. They just come up. Some of these wounds are going to be a surprise for you. You're going to be looking at it through the lens of release, right? Why certain things can't come in for you, where certain things haven't come in yet, or why is your relationship so strained? Why do things feel so strained nowadays, for you? And you're going to start to see that you have to release these wounds. And I'm going to pull up here because I want to share with you some of these wounds. Okay. And I talked about over functioning a lot here, which is this wound, the taking over responsibility, over functioning, and hyper independence, like the I don't need anyone, I can do everything attitude that we have, comes from a father who was absent or made you feel like you had to grow up fast or you had to be an emotional caretaker, which means that it could be any of these things. Like if your father was absent, you feel like you have to take responsibility for everything. You had to pick up the slack. Hyper independent, feeling hyper independent. So by the time you were a teenager, you were already feeling like you were the man or the woman of the house because you really didn't have a choice. It's by design, of what the other person did. And what the other part to this is that, then you start to be the emotional caretaker because you become responsible for everyone's emotion. Your father was absent and was supposed to be the one to help you take care of your emotions, and he wasn't around. And so you take on the role. You take on the absent role. And you start to think in a leadership position. Part of leadership is about being able to delegate. But see, you didn't see that done. And so you started to believe that you need to do everything alone. You can't delegate or ask for help. And when you work, let's say you work for a major corporation, right? You have to delegate. You cannot take on everything yourself. You will drown. And in life, you will drown. Um, you're like, I got this, right? And you're drowning. And so we're gonna go over that one. And I also have another one that I want to go over with you. And this one is distrust in masculine structures. Yeah. This one's huge, right? This one comes from being abandoned also. It's betrayal, manipulation, or emotional abuse by the father. So if your father was present, right? He betrayed you. And how does betrayal happen? It does happen through abuse, emotional or physical, manipulating to get what they want. I can remember, I'm going to share a quick story. I can remember a time where, I was told, like something simple like this, like you need to be home after dark, right? Or not after dark, before dark. You need to be home before dark, right? Well, there's about a whole hour when it starts to get dark and when it actually, the sun goes down completely, right? And it gets dark. And even after the sun goes down, there's a little bit of light left, right? So tell a kid that they need to be home before dark. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to push it, right, to that limit. So be home before dark. And then I walked in, I got home before dark, and then the stories changed. And it was, well, the street lights came on. You should have known to come home. And then I got in trouble. See, to me, that's a betrayal. It's confusion. It's chaotic because you said before dark. You didn't say anything about street lights. You didn't say, you just said be home before dark, and I was home before dark, and now I'm still in trouble. So you can't, so it's like you start to feel like you can't win for losing, and it becomes emotional abuse, and in a sense, and then you have difficulty working in structured environments because you feel like, even in like environments like corporate, legal, political, because you feel like the bar's gonna move all the time, like you're just like, so instead of asking clarifying questions, even when it's possible that that you could ask clarifying questions, you're just assuming that it's going to be chaotic. And so you struggle to attract or collaborate with people who can be supportive masculine energies in colleagues even. And this can be a crazy realization. This is you diving deep into what what has happened, right? This is you diving deep into why you are the way you are, why you seem to struggle. Why do you struggle to have a leadership position? Why do you struggle to maintain a partnership, right? Do you trust your partner when they say something? You trust your partner when they say they got you? Do you trust your partner when, are you always questioning? Are you always in the back of your mind? It might be subconsciously. You might be with your person and you're sabotaging because you don't know how to interact in a healthy way with a masculine structure, whether it's a business, corporate, because these are masculine structures in our life, or if it's a partner, a masculine, and within yourself. And it's like, now it's a deep dive because once you've aligned, because a lot of you have aligned your masculine and feminine, right? Because you see where you're over functioning. But honey, believe me, that person you're with is also struggling to align their structures. Can you be compassionate? Can you be Do you have enough awareness? Deep dive. This is deep. It gets really, really deep. It's not just about, oh, I'm in love. No, love, great, right? But part of love is showing that compassion. And it's like we get to the point, you get to this point, you have to realize, like, let's say you're doing it all. You have to realize that this is survival mode. Maybe at one time, like, you had to do it all because there was no one else there, right? But now you're in a relationship. You have someone with you. You are your own person. You are working in your own, you've picked your own corporate environment or structure to work in. You don't have to be in survival mode. And believe me, you have other people around you who are injured who will allow you. Some may not be, and they may look at you like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to do it all? And some will let you because they are also in their own, they are, other people are coming into situations and these relationships with their own injuries, right? So it's the deeper dive is realizing that we're not in a bubble. We don't live in a bubble. We're not the only ones with wounds. And everyone's wounds look a little bit different because, we talked about, I'm going to pull this up here because I had to have notes so I can remember. Give me 1 second. The first one we talked about was the over responsibility and hyper independence, right? The over functioning from the father who was absent. And the second one we talked about was not that one. They're different wounds. And if you want, you can subscribe to my my other channel. I'm actually going through every day and I'm listing a wound, a father wound that some of us may have, and then what it looks like, in leadership, and then how to work, what's the shadow work that needs to be done, right? And the beautiful thing about this is that once you do the shadow work, you can see it in others. And as you do the shadow work, also, you will see, it will bring, like, you will have, it will bring this deeper dive for you into your wounds, because I just mentioned one or two wounds. There are many wounds that come, that one wound perpetuates another. And so there's more, there could be, and we all may or may not have the same wounds, right? Like, probably not. Everyone grew up in different households. Things were different. We heal differently. We dealt with things differently. But I want everyone to be able to see these wounds in themselves, to take that deeper dive and say, okay, yes, I realized I was over functioning, but as a result of over functioning, right, now I have, what else happened? Did you have, because even if it's a father wound, right, but it's really more of a masculine wound, because once you had that father wound, were you betrayed by other males in any way? Were you abused by other males? Because this really goes deep. And the other one I mentioned, what was healing the wound of distrust in masculine structures. If you've been abused in any way, whether physically, sexually, emotionally, by a masculine figure in your life who was supposed to care for you, you have to acknowledge the betrayal without becoming it. And many of us became it, and then we felt not safe, right? When you become that type of betrayal, you feel not safe, and it becomes unconscious. But we have to realize that not every structure is a trap. Um, and you almost have to tell yourself, like, you can honor what hurt you without letting it define how you lead in life. Because remember that that wound itself impacts difficulty working within the structures. And most of us are working in masculine structures out here, in masculine environments. We have to collaborate. Maybe some of you might wonder, why is it so hard to collaborate with others? It's because you were betrayed. You want to start seeking collaborations that feel reciprocal. That's why equal give and take is important, right? And when you were betrayed, there was not an equal give and take, because you somebody took something from you that it was not your choice to give. That's not equal give and take. And so having that wound, exposing that wound, looking at it, and not letting it define you will be your greatest accomplishment. And then we have breaking free. This will break you free from a lot of your struggles, right? And so I'm feeling like, for right now, and healing, look, can't, breaking free and healing. Like, this is, we're constantly healing, right? It's like ascension. One level of ascension takes you to another level as you constantly heal. You can't, no one just ascends all at one time. It would be too much. You'd be cuckoo if you ascended all at one time. It's too much to take in. It's too much to see at one time. When you see one wound, you can start to see the next one. And do it in steps. Allow yourself grace to do it in steps. And just see it. I found myself this morning sitting and ruminating. I went to the bathroom, and I'm in the bathroom, like, ruminating and thinking about something that's going to happen, and how the person's going to betray me, and how it's going to, like, he's going to do this, and then, why, if he does that, then I'm going to do this. And I did this for like a whole 2 minutes. And then after 2 minutes of this, I had to say, like, stop. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you're like, this is not, and it's recognizing also part of ascension, also in healing, is recognizing when your higher self is talking to you and when your ego is talking to you. My ego was on a roll this morning, right? And we all say, oh, we've healed our ego. Your ego is always there. It's just noticing. Your ego can help you at times, but it's noticing when your ego is not helping, when your ego is sabotaging you, because you walk in line with your ego. Like, you can't, just because you heal doesn't mean your ego completely goes away. You need your ego. Your ego keeps you safe. But your ego can also sabotage you. Do you see how deep healing gets? Healing is not, it's not, ascending and healing is not all fun. But it's not about fun. It's about breaking free. It's about setting yourself free and It's about setting yourself free and breaking free from the chains. Don't be tied down to what someone said, didn't do, didn't say 30, 40, 50 years ago. Acknowledge that they have their own wounds, right? And look at this in the healing. Like they're all together, and like they're all together, and they're just like, okay, collaboration. That's what happens when you start to heal. Collaboration. You can now collaborate with others. For the longest time, I was like, no, I don't need anybody. I can do it. I want someone, and it's not good to be needy, but when I say I don't need anyone in a toxic way, I don't need anyone. Like I can do it all myself. Like, I got this. I got this. I got it. No, I can take the garbage out. I can do the dishes. I can go to work. I can pay my bills. I can. Eventually your body just says I can't. There comes a day where your body says, I can't, I don't want to, and I'm not going to. But yeah, if you want, like I said, I'm not posting it. I'm not doing community posts on this here. I'm doing it on my Authentically Her After 40. And I get many men who follow me there also, because I do talk about, father wounds. I talk about other things, and a lot about, I've started actually posting more things about how men think and feel, because it's important for us to understand that also, because if you didn't have a father in your life, or if the father figure in your life was toxic or absent, you don't really know. You have no idea how men really feel. We have no idea. We have this made up. We only know how we feel. We've taken on the role, and we've made it into a fantasy of what we think it's supposed to be. And that eventually breaks us down. Um, we don't get we forget how to feel. I had this, like I said, I had this weird situation this morning in the bathroom where I was ruminating. And this whole incident that happened where I made up this idea in my mind about what my partner was doing or not doing, and I had to sit back and look at myself. That's why we can't do it. Like I said, we can't do it all at one time, because I had to sit back and look at myself and go, oh, damn, I need to look at this. You can't ask someone else for help. You can't ask for someone else to do something if you haven't looked at the wound in yourself first, because they are also dealing with their own wounds. And guess what? This brings back oh my gosh, innocence. This helps you reclaim your innocence. The innocence that was lost when you created all these things, that cause issues with you leading your life, being able to collaborate with others, all these leadership skills that you needed. We don't think about that. I used to wonder why. I had jobs, and I thought at one time I wanted to be a manager, right? And then, but I could never qualify for the position. I was smart, I was intelligent, I had the skills. I went to school. I had well, I should say I had the knowledge, but I was lacking. There was something lacking, something that somebody else had that I didn't have, and I didn't want to admit it. I thought I had it all. I figured it out. I could do everything. And it's ironic because I feel like now I'm stepping into leadership position that I never thought I would step into. And I'm not asking. I stopped asking for it. I stopped doing everything. I started going in. I started finding my innocence again. That childlike energy. The the energy that says it's okay to play. It's okay not to do everything all the time. You find your truth. You find your dreams. Again, Pisces. We wonder how our dreams got snatched away from us. That's how our dreams got snatched away from us. Um, you know, I will put a short reel here on this channel with one of those wounds because I'm working on the father wounds first, and then I will be integrating that and talking about mother wounds and how that affects us and what we need to do to heal. And because there's, you know, like I said, there's layers to it. It's not just one wound. We think, you know, at first I was like, oh, I'm over functioning. That's the wound. And then I looked and I was like, wait a minute. There's the wound, there's the guilt, there's the wound of guilt. That's a father wound. There's the wound of not being able to collaborate, mistrust. That's a father wound that causes issues. So it's not just one wound. All right, let's pull a few tarot for you. I don't need a what's the vibe. I already know what the vibe is here. The vibe is that you're healing, right? I'll drop the link for the other channel where you can access the community board on the other channel for those wounds and that advice. I think, you know, those these are some blockages and things that we need to let go of. This will give us the I talk about cleansing and making room. Cleansing and making room for new things is not just about your space, your physical space, let's so to speak. Cleansing and making room is about clearing that mental space, replacing those mental wounds and those negative thoughts with positive ones, with the ones that with thoughts that bring in abundance. I was watching Queen Cup. She called it capacity. She says, and it made sense. She said, you know, you don't have the capacity to take on all the things that you want to take on, even if it's good. You don't have the capacity to do it if you're not releasing some of your old ways of thinking. Where do you have the capacity? Because you're now those two ideologies. You may have two ideologies that are clashing with each other. You're gonna have to let one go, and hopefully you're letting the one go that doesn't serve you. It's not serving you. Legal matters, justice, court, law, karma, order, truth, agreement, decision, contracts. Be analytical and impartial. This is like the judgment card. I mean, for some of you, you might have some legal matters coming into it at hand, But can you see legal matters are masculine? It's a masculine, like the legal system is a masculine entity. Be analytical and impartial. If you have father wounds and you have legal matters that you're handling, you could muck it up. You can really muck it up if you're not collaborating properly with your attorney, right? The attorney says be quiet, and you go in and you're talking. Well, what do you want him to do? It's not his fault or her fault that you're mucking it up. And also, I just feel like this is legal matters to me is more like you clearing this space, clearing these wounds, taking that deeper dive, being analytical, being impartial with yourself, not being judged. You are not passing judgment. We're bringing justice. This is justice, balance. You're bringing, like, it's like you're bringing balance back into the situation so that your abundance can come in. Oh, I didn't even see this one. Gratitude. Yeah. You know, be analytical, impartial, and have gratitude. Have gratitude for the lessons that were in the wounds that you're letting go. Have gratitude for them. They've made you who you are. Partnership, look, an opportunity, helping hand. Look at this. This is what you're bringing in by healing. Opportunities, partnerships, collaborations. You're stepping into a different world. This helping hand says assistance, cooperation, relief, service, support, help, efficiency. No one can handle it all. I know you think you can, Pisces, but you can't. No one can. And when you have a helping hand, that's when lucky chance, favorable time, no blocks, the right circumstances, doors are opening up for you. Doors that you never thought would open up for you. Collaboration, business, partnership, sharing, union, prioritize your connection. This is a time in your life for you to prioritize connections, collaborations. When things get a little funky in your collaborations, I want you to stop. Look at that wound, see which one is coming up. Because they're more than likely they're multiple. And it's crazy because even for me, you know, if I had to look at just one wound, if I had to look at like all these wounds all at one time, it would have been so overwhelming. But now that I'm looking at them, you know what it is, Pisces? Before, when you looked at these wounds, maybe you have looked at them before and you were like, yeah, that happened, that happened, that happened, right? But you weren't looking at them from the heart space, right? You were looking at them more in that, you know, matter of fact, like, yes, it happened. I can't believe like that happened. And you know what? Yeah, I'm letting it go. But now you're going to revisit them to really let them go because you're revisiting them from the heart space. And that's what's bringing in the helping hands, the opportunities, the collaboration, the partnership and justice. It's like you're just when you thought you were aligned, like all your chakras were aligned, it's like that heart space is popping into place where it's supposed to be. You might shed some tears. You might, there might have been a lot of frustration before when you went, when you visited some of these wounds. Some of them maybe you haven't seen because you weren't ready to see them. And now you're ready to see them and let them go. But these wounds will bring up the tears. But they're going to be, it's really ironic because they're going to be tears, but they're going to be tears of joy, because as you open up and let them go, the opportunities will come in and you're going to have a completely different perspective on life. You're going to have a different perspective on these masculine energies in your life. You're going to have a different perspective on the feminine energy in your life. It's gonna be, your whole point of view is going to change. You are not the same person. Your life is not the same. You're not the same person, and you're not going to be seeing people around you the same. You won't be seeing the structures around you the same. Um, let's pull. Let's pull a few tarot to close this out, and I'm gonna pull. I just want to see what the advice and outcome is for you. I think we already know. Well, so what the heck? Too many. I just heard you got this. I heard, how much more advice do you need, Pisces? Is what I heard. Wow. Spirit, anything else to say here? Spirit says you have what it takes. You have the strength. You're doing this already. Hang one, King of Cups. Yes. Seven of Cups. You're always gonna have, these are the opportunities, but you're the King of Cups. You're gonna be able to discern these opportunities because you're taking that hangman energy. I don't feel you in hangman energy now, but I feel like maybe you're taking that energy, that energy to reflect with you. And so anybody that's coming at you with shady opportunity is going to be met with the King of Cups. You're not you're not you're not falling for it. And so you're going to be fine. And I love this because to get to the King of Cups, you had to go through the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is about nurturing, right? But the King of Cups is still emotionally balanced. You see him here, right? But he's leading. The King of Cups is leading. You are in your leadership position with all your innocence. Like you're like, it's now we know why the King of Cups is sitting so comfortably on his throne, is in his emotions. The King of Cups has healed, reclaimed his emotions, and knows when to let partnerships, when to ask for a helping hand, when to delegate responsibility. The King of Cups is not on his throne saying, I'm going to do it all. He has knights, he has whatever. There's a whole court of people who do things to help the King of Cups. Anything else for Pisces? I love it that the cup energies are coming out, because the thing is that you're never going to be able, you're always going to have people that come in this energy, right? Where not all that glitters is gold, because you have the gold in your hand. You've claimed it already. So when people come to you with opportunities, you've been through this. You know what to do. It's like you've learned to trust yourself again. So, the Ten of Cups. Life is not linear. Life has ups and downs. It's not to say that you're not going to have up and downs. It's not to say like you're not going to have shady characters come around you. It's not to say that you're not going to have masculine energies, but it's like you're taking your discernment with you. Being in Hangman energy teaches us discernment. And it's right there. Your discernment is right there with you. Page of Swords and Ten of Pentacles. You'll be speaking your truth to your happy life. You're going to be so much happier for this. Like it's almost like this page is holding the sword of truth. It's like you're getting to this Ten of Pentacles, but even though you are in your energy, the King of Cups energy, like you're getting to your Ten of Pentacles, you're getting to this happy life through acknowledging the truth, cutting out the bullshit, cutting out the nonsense, removing. This is you clean. This is like you cleaning. You're walking through and you're cleaning the path to your Ten of Pentacles. And I just felt and heard that you may have people in your energy who are helping you do this. You may have people who are helping you do this, because now let me do a quick look, because I just want to look. I just want to confirm. Yeah, that's it's. I just had. You're gonna have a lot of decisions to make, right? But with discernment, like you're not going to be jumping into you're not going to be jumping into anything, because you're not looking to pick up everything that other people are laying down. You're not looking to pick up just anything. You're being discerning about what you pick up. And so you just be patient, whatever it is, in love, in career, in you've learned to have that patience. But your eagerness to move forward will also is leading you to this pinnacle. Your both your eagerness and your patience. It's like that balance we talked about that stops you that gives that helps you use your discernment not to grab the snake in the cup and to realize that, you know what, like, just because there's glitter all over it and it looks pretty might not be the best for me. All right, let's pull a self-care oracle to close this out. And this card flew out right away. Wow. Shadow work. Uncover every part of you that has been repressed and abandoned. I swear this card just flew out. Um, if you're interested, follow me in the other channel for the posts that I'm going to be making. I think it will help with the shadow work. We all have, it's ironic because once, like, it's like you feel like you've hit that new level, and then you find new levels of shadows that you still were holding on to. New levels of shadows, new shadows. They're not new, they were always there, but you start to see them. You start, it's like spirit starts to say, boom, here you are. Here's what you're doing. Are you going to be in your ego? Right? And it's almost like, I feel like this will overcoming obstacles and rituals. Get back on your feet, gain strength from difficult situations. Yeah, like you're going to be like, this will be you. Like you'll be this time around. Now you're going to do this quicker because when you get in your ego, right? Maybe that's why I decided to come to you, because when you get in your ego, you're going to get out quicker. And you're going to notice that when you're in your ego, that, oh, especially when you're ruminating in your ego and it's not just there protecting you, you're going to start to realize, like, oh, there's something there. There's a reason. Why did that just happen? Like, there's something that you need to work on, and you're going to get through it a lot quicker, which will help you ascend and get to the next level a lot quicker. To experience the magic of life, you must first practice it. Exactly. This is you putting all the work that you've done already into practice. If you don't practice, if I don't use my skills as a nurse, I lose them. If I don't use my assessment skills, you lose them. Yes, they can come back, but having rituals helps you become quicker. You're more agile, and you're becoming very agile in your spirituality. Clear your energy, refuel your energy, and reclaim your power. That's what you're doing right now. And you're being asked to open your heart to another and to let down your walls and trust that they want what's best for you. Your life will open up in wonderful ways once you decide to open up. Exactly. Not everyone, what did we say at the beginning? Not everyone is there to open up old wounds. Some people are there to help you heal them. All right, Pisces, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. You can subscribe to my other channel where I will be posting about all these wounds and how to heal them on my community. I'll be making community posts about that on my other channel, Authentically Her After 40. And then also you can subscribe for the my Pisces newsletter, where I will be sending you a monthly newsletter to help you on this journey. And there are a couple free gifts for you. So go click the link, go to the website, and take a look. It's absolutely free. All right. I will see you in the next one. Let's keep weaving that dream together.